Cal?
Yeah,
there he is.
Hey, we got
Technology. How
Could you
are
imagine
you,
if
buddy?
your streak came down to that? You would have been done after a couple games.
Well, you guys can't talk all at the same time now. Try it again.
No, it's just great to have you on, dude. How have you been handling all this?
Pretty good. I like solitude. I'm working on training my dog.
Right.
Since I went on Twitter last night, it seemed like the most popular thing was my dog.
Right. Are you actually going to use Twitter, or is it going to be John Maroon doing it all for you?
No, that was me.
Nice.
I'm continuing to learn it, but the only way it works is if you embrace it and you do it.
Right.
What kind of dog do you got, Cal?
I got a golden doodle.
Oh, my dog hates golden doodles. My dog attacks every golden doodle she sees.
Why? Is that a small dog?
No, it's about a 60-pound dog.
Yeah.
Right.
It
right.
looks
Can you
like
look at his tweet?
I can't tell. I did look at it. I'm
looking at
following him.
It's at Cal Ripken Jr. How did you secure that address? I mean, you're late to the Twitter game. How did somebody not cyber squat all over Cal Ripken Jr.?
Yeah, that was the funny part about this is that I had to, what's it called? What's the word? I had to prove that it's me to actually
get verified.
What was that again?
You had to get verified.
Verified. That's it. So I got verified, but at Cal Ripken Jr. was there. I don't know why somebody didn't take it. There's a lot of Cal Ripkens out there, and I guess they don't say they're Cal Ripken, but it's still a handle.
Does Cal Ripken Jr. have a little bit of a shiner on the left eye? What's going on there?
Oh, he's probably just tired like us.
Yeah, I just woke up.
What are you binge watching, Cal?
Is my hair messed up too?
No, you look
Your hair's
good.
looking good.
You look good. What are you binge watching?
Oh my goodness. I think we binge watched pretty much everything that's there. What's the one called? Tiger Cat?
Tiger King.
Tiger King.
Tiger King.
Have you started that one yet?
Yeah, but I mean, it hasn't gripped me like it's gripped everybody else. There's one on Netflix that's it's kind of funny at first. It's called The Ranch. I don't know if you watched that a little
Is that
bit.
Ashton Kutcher?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. There was a mention of Ripken baseball in it, so maybe that's why I started watching it.
Oh, sweet.
Of course.
Hey, Cal, so I know that I guess you tweeted about this, but they had the 21-31 game on ESPN last night. Chris Berman and Buck Martinez calling the game, by the way, 1995.
And Earl Weaver in the booth.
Earl Weaver, Earl Weaver was in the stands. Maybe they brought him into the booth. But my question was, obviously it was a great game. Once the game got into the fifth inning and it became a legit game, and you were in the dugout. Now, you came out of the dugout and you just showed your appreciation to all the fans. But what player actually wanted you to go run the field? Was there one guy in particular that pushed you?
Well, I think it was Rafael Palmeiro's idea, and then Bobby Bowe kind of took over ownership of it, and I think even Jeffrey Hammonds, who was sitting next to me, they all started to encourage me to do it. Rafael's logic was, look, this game's not going to get started again unless you run around the ballpark.
Right.
And I said, I'm not doing that, and I'm not doing that. I was like, and I don't know if you could read my lips. I might have said that's a dumb idea.
Right.
I did.
It turned out not to be so dumb, but if you're in that position, I never sat down and watched it. Last night I watched it from the pregame to the end of the game, and I watched the whole telecast.
Wow.
And I've never done that. I picked up pieces of it here and there. If I was channel surfing every once in a while, I'd watch it. I'd watch some of it, and I'd remember certain things. But at first, I didn't want to mess up my own memory of it.
Right.
But once you started seeing things and saying, "Oh, that guy was on our team," he was there too.
Right.
And then I started looking up rosters, and I think I got everybody on the team where I could name them. There was a few guys that didn't come to me right away, but it was the first time I watched it, and I felt really uncomfortable coming out that many times to say thank you.
I could tell.
I can't do it anymore. And then the laugh turned out to be the finality, which nobody could have written that script. Nobody could have planned that to come out any better than it did. I remember getting to the dugout with the California Angels, and Rod Carew was one of the first ones to greet me over there.
Yep, right.
And I love Rod Carew. And I remember talking to him, and he was telling me something, and I listened to it intently, and I left, and I go, that was really cool. But I couldn't tell you to this day what he told me.
And then Rick Burleson, former Boston Red Sox shortstop, he said something to you. I guess he was a bench coach or maybe the hitting coach for the Angels. What did he say? Do you remember what Burleson said to you?
No, but I saw Rick Burleson, Rene Gonzalez, Dave Gallagher. They were all teammates of mine at one point, and I was thinking, he's over there? He's there too?
Right.
So it was a realization that we all move around. Well, not all of us, but some of us move around in our careers, and I had a chance to play with a lot of really good guys. There were a few good examples.
By the way, you hit a bomb in that game.
Yes, I did.
You hit a bomb, and then you came up with the bases loaded after the celebration, and I don't know if you were nervous. You swung at the first pitch, and you kind of hit a little looper, but Rex Hudler snagged it. But you said something to Bunbury. What did you say to Bunbury on first base after that? You remember that?
Yeah, I tried to bloop it in so I can make sure I get 2 RBIs, but Rex Hudler had a little too much range.
Right.
No, it's interesting is my son called me in the middle of the game, and so I'm sitting there talking to my son on the phone, and I said, remember we talked about things when you go up there and hit a pitch somewhat, and you go up there and sit on a pitch the next time up because you could virtually take that out of your arsenal. I said that was a situation where I hit a home run on a 3-0 fastball, so that doesn't mean he's going to change the pitch necessarily, but I thought he would. And I think I was looking for an off-speed pitch and swung at a fastball anyway. And so many times you do that. So it was a good time for me to tell Ryan that even though you set a plan, sometimes you unconsciously go after it. And it almost worked out.
Talking to Hall of Famer Cal Ripken Jr., and he joined Twitter at Cal Ripken Jr. to help launch Strikeout Hunger 2020 with Feeding America to lend a helping hand during this challenging time. You can donate at ripkenfoundation.org. I wanted to put you on the spot, Cal, if you're willing, because I saw this recently, especially during this time when there's no sports, people have been coming out with these lists. And I saw a question about the Orioles, which was my favorite team growing up, all-time greats at each position. And I'm not going to say go through the entire history. Let's just go through, if you can quickly, off the top of your head, the best players you played with on the Orioles at each position. So first base is easy. That's Eddie. Best second baseman you played with.
Eddie and Rafi. Rafi had some big-time numbers. Eddie, I love throwing to Eddie because Eddie can make a bad throw look really good just with his footwork around there. And Eddie had monster numbers. Eddie, I played with Eddie for 12 years. So it's got to be Eddie.
And he was super clutch. The year that you won MVP, I don't know if he finished second, but he might have finished second because he had a great year that year as well in '83.
Yeah, I think he finished second a number of times in the MVP. I mean, he was a MVP-type candidate every year.
All right, so second base.
Second base is kind of interesting. Is I had a lot of fun playing with my brother. So Billy next to me, we could communicate without even talking. So which was a good advantage on steal coverages and positioning and all that kind of stuff. He just instinctively knew. So I enjoyed that. But probably the most talented guy was Robbie Alomar.
Yeah.
Right.
Robbie Alomar, I don't think there's anything on the field that Robbie could not do. And he amazed me sometimes. He'd line up for a throw to home, say it's a double down the right field line. He's down the right field line. Ball comes to him. There's a potential play at home, but there's also a potential play at third. And sometimes he comes up, and he looks like he's throwing it to home, and he realizes that he has no chance halfway through the throw, and then directs his throw on line to third. So it's one of the most amazing things. So his ability to kind of see things in high speed was really fascinating to me.
All right, so let's go to third base because I'm going to put you at short. So who's the best third baseman you played alongside?
I love Brooksy, he played a long time. He was my hero, and when you end up hanging out with him and meeting him, you find out that he doesn't disappoint. He's the real deal.
But you didn't play with him.
Oh, you got some landscaping noises. It's all right.
It's okay.
It's fine. It's all good.
You didn't play with Brooks Robinson though. You didn't overlap. I'm talking about guys you played with.
Brooksy's last year was somewhere around 76, 77.
Yeah.
No, guys you played with.
I want guys you played with. Like
Floyd Rayford.
Yeah, Floyd Rayford.
Craig Worthington.
Okay, so it's really interesting is, they made a big deal out of the revolving door of second basemen and third basemen that I played with. There was a huge number of third basemen, Many of them started out as catcher.
Right.
I remember B.J. Surhoff, Todd Zeal came over. Bobby Bowe was an outfielder, but he also played third a little bit. So they tried a lot of people in and around that position. Watching the World Series, which is another game that was on fairly recent in 1983, one of the big keys to our success that year was when we got Todd Cruz. I don't know if you paid much attention.
He was great defender.
Todd Cruz was a good shortstop with great range.
Yeah.
And when he went to third base, his range at third base allowed me to play more up the middle all the time. I didn't have to worry about the hole too much. And I thought with Scotty McGregor and Mike Flanagan and some of the balls that were hit to that left side of the infield, I thought Todd Cruz was a big difference in the second half to allow us to roll on and win. He was only there for a short period of time, though.
Did you play with DeSensei?
DeSensei was there when I first got called up in 81. Then they traded him in the winter of 81
Gotcha.
To make room for me.
Right.
All right, we don't need to go through all the positions. You went through the infield because I know other guys have questions.
Well, I want to hear that.
Who's the guy on third for you guys?
On third? Well, give
An
it.
Orioles history?
Well, I mean, that's a good thought. I mean, some of those guys you mentioned, while third wasn't their primary position, they were studs. I mean, BJ was a stud, right?
Yeah, BJ was a good defensive player. And I mean, I thought he was a fantastic left fielder, too, when he went out there and really embraced that position. He did a good job at third base as well.
And Bonilla, but not necessarily.
Bobby Bowe was there 95, part of 95, and then when he went into 96, I think he moved to right field.
Do you ever talk to those guys, the Palmeiros, the Bonillas of the world? Do you ever talk to them anymore?
Yeah, every once in a while. It is interesting when you go your separate ways. It's like an extended off season. Normally, you have a season, you go your separate ways, and you reunite at spring training.
Yeah.
But there's no more spring training to reunite. So Brady was texting me a little bit last night saying that Larry Barnett's strike zone was big in the game. And there was a lot of people mad at getting called out on third strikes, which in that particular game we had Mike Messina on the mound, so we could take advantage of that better than they could.
Hey, I was trying to get a peek at your backyard there. Do you have a garden? Do you have, like, tomato plants? What does Cal Ripken Jr. have going on in his backyard?
No. There's
It's just bushes.
There's the water that goes down. There's a piece of grass that my dog likes to run on. What else is here? It's a very peaceful, tranquil setting, but no garden yet.
I'm jealous of the water.
Are you right there on
the
the
one seed?
Are you right on the bay, or are you on the river?
I'm wondering if I should actually divulge that to you.
You don't have to.
Hey, who's living in your old house now?
I'm on one of the creeks. How's
Right,
that?
gotcha.
That works.
Who's living in your old house now? I know Adam Jones lived there for a while. It just keeps getting passed from, like, player to player, right?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I remember it was a very expensive house to live in. That's what I remember.
Oh, yeah.
And as soon as you got an electric bill for the first time, it blows you away. But maybe that's why Adam decided Adam wanted to stay, but he didn't end up staying here. So,
Cal, that's where the SK and Wild World checks came in big back in the day. I know I'm going way back with Wild World reference.
well, I got news for you. They weren't that weighted of checks.
Hey, Cal, I don't know how much time we have, Drab. I just want to ask him about the proposal for Major League Baseball to play, in the state of Arizona in like 10 or 12 ballparks. Quarantined, families wouldn't be there. They might play 2 7-inning games, so double headers every day. I don't even know how it would work, Cal. I mean, I'm sure you read up about it. Your thoughts on that? Could it work?
Well, if you put your analytical mind to the test, there's a lot of hurdles and challenges to get over something like that. But I think it hit me yesterday that they're really trying to get baseball back in some way, some shape or form. And that made me happy because I think sports in general can, serve as a mechanism to bring us back. I know in 9/11, after we all reacted to 9/11, we didn't know what to do. And then all of a sudden the baseball season got pushed back a week or so, and we come back to the game. And the celebration of baseball and people being able to immerse themselves in the pennant race, it seemed like we played a nice role in helping us, at least with a distraction. So I've always believed that baseball in particular can be healing in some ways. And I think we're going to need a way to bring us back to some sense of normalcy. And my sense of normalcy is when baseball is being played, or when you turn on SportsCenter and you can see all the games that were played yesterday. So I applaud Major League Baseball for trying to figure it out, and I know they would never compromise the players in that situation, but they're racking their brains pretty good trying to figure out how we can bring baseball back, and just to give us a sense of something to look forward to each day.
How would you have felt, though, as a veteran with young kids to be away from your family for 4 months, if that's the way they do it?
Well, I mean, you don't know what the time frame is, and so you go into it not necessarily thinking the worst. I think I would look at it from an optimistic standpoint. I think baseball players are baseball players, and they're sitting around not doing what they do. And so I think generally they want to play. Same question is, can they play in front of no fans? You know, it's sad to think about that, but we all played in front of very little fans at some points in our career. And even going back to the Sandlot days, we competed really hard with nobody cheering for us. And so, to me, if given the choice, I'd rather have baseball back in some capacity and then try to deal with the situations than not have it back at all.
Cal, man, we could talk to you all day. Stay safe out there. We really appreciate you joining us. You're doing a great thing. Follow him on Twitter, at Cal Ripken Jr., and it's Strikeout Hunger 2020 with Feeding America, and you go to the ripkenfoundation.org.
Yeah, can I make a plea for 1 second?
Yes.
It's our foundation has done great work. We've built a wonderful infrastructure, as you guys know, all around the country. So our resources are deep. Our partnerships and sponsorships are deep, and we help kids all the way across the country. We turned our focus to helping kids get food. Food security is an issue in this country right now, and I was so proud of our foundation to be able to turn on a dime and partner with Feeding America to actually start this process. We gave $100,000 to seed it. Kevin Harvick Foundation and Ollie's jumped in another $150,000, so we had $250,000 right out of the chute. But I was going to ask anybody that's listening, or if you do go on my Twitter account, there's a little bit more information about it. But you can help in the smallest of ways. $1 given is 10 meals distributed. So if you think about it in that sense, $5, $10, $15 goes a long way.
All right, so just go to your Twitter, and we have more information there.
Perfect.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
My
Thank you
handle,
so much.
At Cal Ripken Jr. That's me.
Yep, that's right.
Verified.
Verified. Blue check mark. Thank you, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thank
Good
you.
seeing you, buddy.
You're quite welcome.
All right, pal.